Man, I will say that God always showing me something, man. Always. And one thing he showed me, it's like every move I look at, every uh I get something out of it. And he basically teaches us how to dedicate ourselves to him, because that's true love, right? To be unselfish and really take care of the business that he has set forth to us. And not only that, to not use any selfishness in it. So I don't think of nothing I want for myself, all what he wants from me, right? Now, there's a whole strategic method of reason why he wants that to happen like that. And then not only that, he adds in to love thy neighbor as you love yourself, right? So what I got from all of that is the fact that that's the only way a relationship can survive. Check this out now, because there's so many people that feel like they have dedicated their whole self to a person. But now get this, that mathematics cannot stand to be true. Let me tell you why. Because religion, or to follow God, is the hardest thing that a human can do. Why? Because you have to take self out of it. And Satan, his lesson to everybody is to be so self-centered that it's that hard to follow God. That's his strategic method. And so far he's winning. How do I know? Because there's no relationships that last over 2 years. And I know what I'm saying will fly over a lot of people's heads. It'll fly over your head. Because, now think about this now. In order for a relationship to survive, equally yoked, you have to fully dedicate yourself to another person. And that's the hardest thing ever to do. Even when you say you're giving them everything that you can give them, but technically, a lot of us, we don't. Why? Because at any moment, Satan sneaks in and brings insecurity into a relationship. How does he do that? Because, number one, we fail to do everything that a person asks of us. How do I know that? Because we fail to do everything that God even asked for us to do. Now that's God asking us. How in the world do we sit here and say that we are giving everything to a human being? It's something that you're not going to do. It's something that you're not going to give them. And that part right there is what causes insecurity. Now, due to society, either one, you're going to let your feelings speak for itself, because that insecurity is going to arrive. It's going to come out. And at that point, either it's going to come out, it's always going to come out negatively. Either one, it's going to implode, meaning it's going to erupt from the inside, from them holding it dormant of the feeling that you're giving them insecurity. Then that's how some people find out a person cheat. Because that insecurity they can't speak on, so they just put it into action. I'm going to just get somebody else, man, because I know that they doing something. From the actions that they're doing something. You know, so I'm going to do this to cover my feelings. So whenever this evolve right here, or explode, or show itself, then I got something to fall back on so I don't look stupid. 2, explosive. Because you got 2 angers, implosive and explosive. Implosive is, yes, you hold it, don't say nothing, and then it's just going to come out in a different way. Or you get tired of it and explode. Now, explosive is the fact that soon as you get that insecurity, you go crazy. Ape. Right now. You're not waiting, you just gonna go crazy. Now that right there, I'm telling you, man, and it blew my mind when because I haven't used it. That's how come a lot of my relationships fall and crumble. Because I haven't, when I say now, I do go above and beyond the average person, but I didn't fully dedicate my whole self to the person. Didn't. Somewhere I gave them insecurities. Somewhere I failed. Like even one time, I was in a relationship with the mother of my children. I got 7 of them. So one of them, I was in a relationship with them. She went behind me and found out that it was a woman that I gave my number to, but I never called the woman. The woman even told her that. But why did I give it to her? Think of that. Like, why did I give it to her? If I wasn't going to call her, then, because, like, at the time, I'm selling my weed or selling whatever, then I got a lot of female clients and all of that. And then, let's say, me and her is just not coming to agreement on anything. And she's showing me where I can feel insecurity. Flirting, eyeballing a person while we out, and look, to society, right? Oh, you being too controlling it. But if you do the same thing to that person, they're gonna feel the same way. Let you be out and looking at another woman. She either gonna speak on it, she gonna speak on her insecurity, or 2, she gonna hold it dormant and sit there and say, you know what? No, I'm not gonna give my whole self to him. It's the same thing, But if we dedicate ourselves the same way we're supposed to dedicate ourselves to God. Because when we dedicate ourselves to God, we don't let Satan in at no means. No avenues. Like no avenues do we give him. We don't give him no parts of us. That's the same thing as when we dedicate ourselves to our significant other, it's supposed to go. And that's the hardest thing on the planet. Why? Because there's self. Self is in there. I'm gonna do this, but I know I ain't gonna do nothing more than this. I know, but you're putting insecurity in the other person. I'm talking about, listen, when that hit, I fully got an understanding now. And see now, yes, it's scary to fully dedicate yourself to a person. But now, if unequally yoked, now if you're equally yoked, both of y'all have a full understanding of this has to happen for it to work. But first, that's why he gives us a math to it. First, we got to learn how to love. How do we learn how to love? Because God is love. So first you go to God and get that love. Get that. Now, how do you get it? When you fully dedicate yourself to him. It's no more your plan. It's his plan. So then when you come together with a person that's fully dedicated to God, then they have a full understanding that it's no more my plan, it's God's plan. And now if it's God's plan, he's going to give it to my spouse or my significant other, and then we're going to do God's plan. Not we're going to do his plan. Not we're going to do her plan. We're going to come together and do God's plan. And that's the only way that it fully works. Now, I'm not saying that there's not relationships that are out here that are not evolving and thriving. I'm not saying that. But they have the math. There's a word that they use in the Bible that's called a virtue, right? Virtuous woman. And basically what that is that you basically have fell in love with loving the fact of being a wife or loving the fact of being a husband, and you do not want to go outside of that. You stay within that parameter. That is virtue. that is a virtuous husband, and that is a virtuous wife. That title means everything, and this is what you're cool with. So you're cool with answering where you're at. You're cool with not causing any insecurities with your husband. You're cool with not causing any insecurities with your wife. I remember my Aunt Tracy said a while back, long time ago, when I first got married, and she said, if at any time that you have a question whether you should do it or not, you are in the wrong. Do not do it. Co-workers say, listen, let's go to lunch. Male co-worker, female co-worker, let's go to lunch. No harm, no foul. If you have it in your spirit, my husband wouldn't like this. Or would he? Would he understand this? My wife wouldn't like this. Would she? Would she understand this? If you have that one question right there, you are in the wrong. A lot of people are not going to agree with what I'm saying because it's something that we can't even imagine or fathom. But that's the reason why God asks us to do what he asks us to do. It's totally strategic and it's totally logical. And that's the way that a relationship can form and hold substance and hold ground. That's the only way. Until I got some more for you.